Caddo Parish Sheriff Steve Prator is here. Hey, Mr. Steve, welcome back to KEEL. Been a while,
well,
3 or 4 days.
Good to be back, I guess.
So you said in your text to Erin that there's questions about this investigation and what you guys know and don't know that you can't really answer. So if we ask a question that you can't answer, just say, shut up.
Please say that.
Okay.
Where can you start with this? What can you tell us happened? Can you walk us through the beginning of the scam email that got $1 million from Caddo Parish schools? I'm not misstating that, am I?
No, not really. Not really. And it could happen to any large agency, or it could happen to a person, on their home computer. What happens is that they actually, because we're not used to talking to people these days, as far as the bank officer or whomever it might be, and someone emailed a particular person and had a bank routing number changed, and so the normal payment that normally goes to one account actually went to another account to the tune of about $1 million. And it's not uncommon, but they're very difficult to work.
So obviously the fake email that came to Caddo Parish, whomever, I assume someone who handles money, it must have looked like the real deal, right?
Right. It looks like the real deal, and they had the old banking routing number, and they have the correct person to call or to the correct person to contact, and when you reply to the same email address that you would have normally. So
wow.
You're thinking, well, this is, there's nothing out of the ordinary here, simple change, and so that's what happened basically.
How did you track the money? Usually in these cases, the money's poof, gone, good luck. You guys actually tracked it. I'm impressed. What'd you do?
Well, thank you. There's you got to understand there's a lot of schooling and experience and new developments and research tools and technology and equipment and all that goes into this, and it's constantly evolving. And that's why we have this cybercrimes unit, and Sergeant Doug Smith is in charge of it, and he does a great job. He's so he's so committed and dedicated and well versed in what he's doing, and we of course had to get our FBI law enforcement partners to do some of the research because once it gets out of the United States, then we have real problems with it, and so it took a joint effort. But I'm so proud of the way that my investigative division under Captain Herring, the way that they jumped on this and got to it.
So where'd the money go? Erin said a little while ago that it ended up somewhere in Africa, but that you've got some of it back. Walk me through how do you even find that out?
Well, there's a lot of things about this radio program that I don't understand how it's actually put on. And,
me too.
And the ways you go about it.
Me too.
And so it's the same thing with law enforcement, except we can't explain it to you, because then the bad guys and girls hear it, and they know what we know and what's going on and how to keep from getting it done or doing it in the future. And so there's just a lot about investigations that we just can't discuss.
What about suspects? I mean, could arrests come with this?
Well, yes, arrests could come with it, but there's so many layers. It's kind of like you see on these television shows when a phone call for a ransom is bounced around on the little map, and it goes to here to here to here to here. It's so difficult. They're very difficult to find. So to get the money back is just, it's unusual, and it's something to really be proud of.
But you did get, was Erin right, 700 of the $1 million back already? Is that legit?
Yes, sir. That's where we're going to get that much back. We're fairly certain, and hopefully get the whole thing back. But we'll just have to see.
Was the part about Africa, was that right too?
Yes, sir, it is.
Sheriff, let me ask you this, because this is a big case. This is $1 million. But you mentioned earlier, this could happen to anybody. What do I look for? What does the average Joe who's listening to you What are some keys to look for to avoid becoming a victim?
Well, it's not the same day and age that it used to be, and we know that. And it's not even using your computer. There's no such thing as a secure net or secure whatever. We've got passwords. Now we have double passwords. We have double procedures to sign on to computers. We have anything that you have can be hacked and can be listened to and can be altered, and you can be fooled. So if there's something that's a large transaction, or if there's something like your bank statements, watch your bank statements, your credit card statements. I mean, all those simple things, and see if by chance there's a $25 going somewhere that you didn't think it. You don't remember that going every month, or something. You know, it could be something as small as that.
I had one time a 50-cent charge put on my card at a Houston gas station. I caught it on my bank statement quickly, and my bank, we changed everything quickly. They told me they test out a card to see if it'll go through, and then they start draining it with a simple 50-cent charge. I mean, these folks are crazy, huh?
No, they're not crazy. Not at all. They're smart, and they work on the numbers as far as these like that 50-cent thing. They may try 200,000 bank accounts, for instance, and they may get 3 that it goes through, and then they start doing those 3.
You know, Mr.
Steve,
Steve, pardon me.
Numbers,
a second ago, at the beginning of the conversation, you said, you know, we live in a world where people just don't talk to each other anymore. At the end of the day, if somebody wants $1 million from me, even if I've sent them $1 million before, and there's a little change in the procedure, if somebody had picked up the phone and called that person and said, I got an email from you and the routing number's different, is this legit? Then it wouldn't have happened, would it?
There would have probably not. There would have been a lot less chance of it happening. Make that one phone call, then make a blind phone call to the bank after that, and just get a hold of somebody and not the number that the person told you to call. There's all sorts of things that companies and governmental agencies, our policies that we have to do. We have a policy at the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office when we're talking about money and bank accounts and things. But the policy comes about because of things like what we're just talking about with the school, and so everything changes, and you have to keep up and change with it. And that's the age we're in. You can't just sit back and say, okay, everything's going great, because every time you think you got somebody checkmated, they're going to come back and it's not a checkmate, it's just a check.